Welcome everyone. We're going to be here to the final day of July meeting at the Rotary Club of Louisville, Kansas City. Pleased to be here to join you. And Kurt Jacobs is going to come up and give our invitation today. He's the creator and host of Moxie Talk with Kurt Jacobs. He's also vice chair of our speakers committee.
Well, I try my KFC soup this time of the this one's for Dan. I tried to find one that was pretty cool. I'm also changing my email video, reading off my phone. It's not a favorite. Heavenly Father, today we gather as Rotarians, called to serve above self and to seek truth, not just in our words, but in our actions. Much like a photograph captures light in a single instant, may we too reflect light in every moment in our service, in our fellowship, and in our impact. We give thanks for storytellers like Dan Dry, whose lens has preserved moments that move us, awaken us, and remind us of our shared humanity. May we all strive to frame our lives with compassion, focus our energy on purpose, and develop each day with clarity and grace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Kurt. Now, one of our best dark presidents ever, Alice Bridges.
How's it?
Oh, not Alice. One of our future presidents. Let me just sing out for the test and our minute, Alice.
Thank you, President Ken. Fellow Rotarians, will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, before we pledge,
It is true, it is very all concerned, will be a will and relationships, will be an official all concerned.
thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Okay, we have a guest with you today. Please come tonight and introduce yourself and the guest. Give your name, role, and organization, and guest, please stand. And when you're introduced at the end, there's a Rotary table where the meeting is, and head over there right after the meeting. Learn more about us.
Yes, President Ken, I'm Robert Chatham, and I'm a past president of the San Rafael Rotary Club in California, past district assistant in California, 5150. My guest today is my wife, Karen. She wanted to attend today's meeting to learn how to use her iPhone better. Instead of stealing my phone and taking my photos, she wants to know how to make her own.
Well, welcome. And Dan, that's a tall order. You can do it.
Pressure's on.
Hi, President Ken Asher-Brower with Next Strategic Communications. My guest today is Fred Davis, who is CEO of Price Waterhouse.
Susan.
I was waiting till the last minute in hopes he'd get here, but I don't see him yet. My guest is Carl Williams, President and CEO of 2020 Strategic Consultants, and if he comes in, please clap.
All right, we got some Rotarians in the spotlight to recognize. Ramona Dowling, Ramona, former Senior Vice President of Community Leadership at the Community Foundation of Louisville. She had the opportunity recently to deliver final remarks at an event celebrating work of the Community Leadership Department, and the link to the video is on our website if you'd like to check that out. Congrats to Ashley Brower. Ashley was a featured speaker at the Kentucky Women's Conference, sharing strategies for communicating with clarity, confidence, and purpose. And congrats to Matthew Harlow, the launch of her new speaking venture, Matthew Harlow and Associates, a platform for powerful storytelling, leadership insights, and fresh thinking. She kicked off this new venture as one of only 3 national finalists in the National Speakers Association, the last story standing competition in Phoenix. All right. Our next
Okay? All right, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. It is now my duty and responsibility as your current president-elect to introduce a new member. And in preparation to do that, I would like to invite Mr. Ben Markham to join me over here. All right. Fellow Rotarians, we seek to grow our membership, as you know. I read the same exact thing every other week when we have a new member. We seek to grow our membership so that we may not only increase our impact and influences our club, but also to extend the spirit of Rotary all throughout our community. Now, to you, Ben, you have been elected to membership in our club because we believe that you possess qualities that will lead you to exemplify the true spirit of Rotary. And we believe that you will follow the four-way test, which you just heard us recite together. You've been admitted not only to the 13th largest club in the world, but to a global organization of more than 45,000 clubs all together now. Hoorah! President Ken, I'm just making sure we're paying attention. Okay. All right, now, you're also welcome, Ben, to attend any one of these clubs anywhere in the world, and I hope that you will do that. Many of our fellow Rotarians have done that as they've traveled to all continents. Now, Rotary membership, it adds a lot of value to those of you, and you know this, those that engage by whether attending the meetings with outstanding speakers, such as our speaker today, and events, and participating in our world-renowned service projects that are run locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And then again, we ask that you share your knowledge and your talent as we live out our motto, service above self, together. And it's my honor to now formally induct you as a member to the Rotary Club of Louisville, and your sponsor, who is not with us today, but he is here in Rotary spirit, one of the best darn presidents we ever had, Greg Braun. He could not be here, but I shall present to you your pen that magically appears in my hand. If Ken is paying attention, round of applause for Ken. Again, it's your beautiful, that's the first one that has a back on it, like a pen. They usually have magnets, okay. Now, here's what we're gonna do. Someone must have mentioned to the best darn president we currently have that Rotary talks too much, because they have asked me to invite Ben to introduce himself. Ben, you ready? Now, I know Ben from my days of helping fundraise at Actors Theater of Louisville. I think we're in for a treat. Big round of applause and welcome to Ben Markham.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Barbara said, Greg was going to read this, so I'm not great about talking about myself. So you can close your eyes and envision his gorgeous face here reading this instead. Ben Markham is a professional photographer specializing in headshots, classic portraits, and fine art boudoir. I opened my studio in 2013 after a 20-year career in the theater, including a 12-year run as a sound designer at Actors Theater of Louisville. As an early midlife crisis, I walked away from the theater and picked up a camera. And I noticed that no one in Louisville was specializing in professional headshots, so I made the decision to fill that need. Come to find out, doing a professional headshot is a little bit harder than most people think. To do it well, I trained with world-renowned headshot photographer Peter Hurley and went on to become a mentor in his elite coaching program, the Headshot Crew. I'm now considered one of the go-to headshot photographers in the region, known for helping people look not just professional, but like the best and most genuine version of themselves. Real expressions, none of the cheesy, fake smile stuff. His work has since expanded to include portraiture, both of which have earned recognition in national and international competitions. Then outside of the studio, I volunteer with the Kentucky Humane Society, thanks to a very smart and opinionated dog of my own that dragged me into the training world. Lived with my wife of 16 years, 3 cats, 5 chickens, and an aforementioned dog. And it's very nice to meet you in person.
great having you in our club. Always great to have new members. All right. We also have some Paul Harris Fellow recognitions, and I'd like to invite to the podium Chris Bjork, who is the Vice Chair of the Rotary Foundation Committee and Paul Harris Fellow +2.
The Paul Harris recognition is given in appreciation of anyone who contributes $1,000 or more to the annual fund or the Polio Plus fund of the Rotary Foundation. Would all members who are already Paul Harris Fellows please stand? The Rotary Foundation, you're promoting peace, you're fighting disease, providing clean water, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. You also are providing funds for matching district grants to support projects right here in our community. Would Rick King, Renee Brown, Brad Smith, and Alice Bridges please join me at the front? You're going to level up. On behalf of the trustees, the Rotary Foundation, it is my honor to present you all with this pin. Miss Alice, she got the ruby ones, +7. Renee, Paul Harris Fellow, +1. Brad, Paul Harris Fellow, +1. And Rick King, Paul Harris Fellow, +5.
Stand in front of the podium, Chris and thank you so much.
Thank you all. Rotarians have a tradition of supporting the Rotary Foundation and honoring others through the transfer of Paul Harris Fellow funds. Susan is going to come up. Susan Zapata, talk to us about that.
Thanks, President Ken. I'm going to invite Ramona down up so I can embarrass her in public. It's my honor today to recognize a woman lady who exemplifies the Rotary motto of service above self. This dedicated woman is an artist, an educator, a curator, and a super connector. She has served as the president of the West Rural Women's Collaborative and most recently as the VP for Community Leadership at the Community Foundation of Louisville. While at the Community Foundation, she led their grant-making work in trust-based philanthropy and their loan work in what is now known as Invest Louisville. Ramona Dallin has shown us all what good things can happen when a passionate commitment to Louisville and its most marginalized residents is combined with the power to provide access to capital through grants and loans. The Health Equity Fund, the Racial Justice Cohort, the Community Safety and Healing Fund, to name just a few. Watch the video that's on the website, have all benefited from Ramona's vision and commitment. As she embarks on the next phase of her career, leading the consultancy of Dallin Ventures Incorporated, I'm eager to see where her spirit and commitment will take her. A wise man with the late Gilfrey was fond of saying that if a problem is in the community, the solution is in the community. Ramona has shown us the exciting places, the impactful places that philanthropy can go when it listens to community. The late Congressman John Lewis advised us all, be hopeful, be optimistic, never ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. Ramona knows a bit about good trouble. The Rotary International theme for 2025-26 is Unite for Good. Ramona's work, whether at the West Louisville Women's Collaborative or at the Community Foundation of Louisville, has shown what we can accomplish when we unite for good. So Ramona, this honor is for you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ramona, and thank you for your generosity, Dr. Susan Zepeda. Susan has been amazing leading our service committee projects and grants. Now that she is on the Rotary Fund Board, she'll be still serving as vice chair of that committee, so thank you, Susan. Before we go on, one more person to recognize. Would Tracy Peck please come forward? Tracy, our club appreciates the dedication you show every week, making sure everyone has a great experience at our meetings from the moment they walk in, and for all the work you do behind the scenes on behalf of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation and all the members of the club. It's my honor to present you with this Paul Harris pin and certificate. That's the certificate. Member and CEO of Max Strategic Communications and chair of the Speakers Committee for several years, co-chair of the Leadership Fellows Committee and the Paul Harris Fellows. Let's introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, President Ken. Dan Dry is Price Weber's managing director of its creative content studio. He has won over 500 national and international photography, advertising, and design awards, including NPPA, Newspaper Photographer of the Year. He was inducted into the Communications Hall of Fame at his alma mater, Ohio University, as well as being named to the Landmarks Hall of Fame for the Public Relations Society of America's Bluegrass Chapter. I'm a member, I should be able to say that. Dan has been a member of the Churchill Downs official Kentucky Derby photo team for more than 30 years. He's photographed 47 Kentucky Derbies and right now has 85 pieces that are printed on metal at the Kentucky Derby Museum, and you can see those through the end of August. He's the sole photographer for 25 coffee table books, including 6 cookbooks, and has photographed every corner in the over 20-year history every cover in the over 20-year history of Food and Dining magazine. Prior to joining Price Weber, Dan was the Chief Visual Officer and Senior Vice President at Power Creative for 5 years. He was also a member of the creative team for the University of Chicago Department of Alumni Relations and Development and a member of the Career Journal's Pulitzer Prize-winning photography staff from 1976 to 1982. Dan traveled the world for 8 years shooting for National Geographic Society. And he also served as the principal of Dan Dry & Associates for more than 20 years, shooting for Fortune 500 companies and advertising agencies. Dan serves on the board of directors for Apron Inc. and the Brain Injury Alliance Kentucky. He is a past board chair and past president for the American Advertising Federation Louisville chapter and still serves on its board. Through Price Weber, Dan helps nonprofit organizations raise tens of thousands of dollars every year by donating large hand-signed canvas prints of his photographs to be auctioned. Please join me in welcoming Dan Dry.
Thank you very much. We're going to switch the projector over here. Kurt, thank you for that wonderful invitation. Thank you so much, Ashley. It is a real pleasure to be here today. For this song too. There we go. Digital camera sales dropped 87% since 2010.
Dan, do you want to take the mic?
No, it's fine. I'll stand over here. Why? What? Why is that? And everybody here has one in their pocket or their purse, or they're on it now rather than being listening to me. It's because of the phone. So, if you're going to take pictures with your phone, I thought it might be kind of fun to talk about the best way to go about doing that. In fact, we're going to give you some tips. We're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about the use of color or not. We're going to talk about composition and angles. We're going to talk about background, and last but not least, let me see a show of hands for folks in here who currently play or have ever played a sport in any way, shape, or form. Wow, it's a lot of folks. So let me ask you this. When you play that sport, how did you get better? Practice. Photography, iPhone photography is no different. The more you shoot, you can watch videos all day long. But the more you shoot, the more you practice, and the more you think, oh man, I really goofed that up. I should have been over here, I should have been over there. The better off you're going to be. Another tip. And there was somebody who was sitting at my table who I saw taking pictures whose lens did not look clean. Or two on it. When I say clean your lenses, it doesn't have to be fancy. You can do it with any old piece of that. But it really does tell a lot of difference. So, your vision, developing a vision, looking, finding, seeing what pleases you. There's no right or wrong answer to it. So here are some photos that I shot, and every photo that you see in this presentation today, I did not cheat, 100% shot with the phone. Here's some photos from Woodford Reserve out in Midway. Looking at different angles, looking at things differently, shooting through a window, shooting a display, taking a bottle and putting it on its surface that's there, highlighting the bottles by placing them in front of a fireplace, and then just doing some photography that lets you show what the place looks like, what it's all about. This is from a shoot that I did for Price Weather. I obviously shot with the real camera, but while I was in Collingwood, Canada, I made this image of the old grain silos up there. This was at Collingwood, which is a Canadian whiskey distillery. And I thought this was okay, fine. Distillery's been around a long time, very historic. Much more dramatic, same photo, just converting it to black and white. So, I do, for KentuckyDerby.com, you heard it, I've been working for them for well over 30 years. I've shot 47 derbies. This is a photo at dawn on the backside. This photo is awful. Horrible. Why? Anybody? Unless you said, so yeah, sure, it's grainy. I like the blue tone, but what drives me crazy all of the back background distractions. Not pleasing at all. Much more pleasing photograph. You don't want to get on your knees? If you get on your knees, you don't think you'll be able to get back up? You don't want to get your hands dirty? Wow, do I have a trick for you. All right. So we're going to go to the phone. We're going to go to the camera. We are going to hit that button. And no, I'm not going to take it. Oh, why not? That works. So what you're going to do to get that great clean background is this. You're going to put that phone on the ground and you can see exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're shooting. And you get a great, clean, low angle. How fun is that? So, in the whatever environment that you're in, looking at things differently, not looking at everything wide, looking tight, coming in close. Here we go again. Crumb picture. Much, much more pleasing. If this would have been photographed 1 second earlier, that light post would have looked like it was spearing him through the head. So timing, that is part of it. Looking again, and I know I keep on saying it, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but looking for something different. I mean, who knew that there was a basketball goal and court on the backside of Churchill Downs? All the backside workers who work there who knew. On the backside, the main mode of transportation is bicycle. Obviously, you cannot let everybody who works back there bring a car back there. The cars are very limited. So again, a storytelling photo, telling the story about the backside, about the transportation, about what it's like. I'm a big social media guy. I do a thing and have now for, gosh, over 5 years called Today's Found Art Shot on my iPhone. I post it every day on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. And it's fun to see the comments that are made and see the photos that are out there. This was a shot that I did at a restaurant of a chef. Some of the restaurant workers shooting blurry to kind of make you know what it feels like to be a server and to hustle and you know, walk quickly through the crowds. The patrons. The food. Using the painting in the background as a background. Coming in close. Doing a little bit of a collage. Different lighting. This, I noticed there was really cool light coming in from a blind, so I moved the puck stickers over to where that was at our table. Same thing. Coming in very close. Going overhead. Using the lighting that's there to your advantage. So, goes back to looking at things differently. Here it is. Exact same scene. All I did was
pull back and go a little higher overhead. And again, not like you're shooting film, not like you're limited to what you're doing. What happened here now? There we go. So, experiment. Vacation and travel. If your photos can answer questions that people are going to ask you about your trip or your vacation, then you're going to have some really good photos. How did you get there? I went to an airport and I flew. Where did you go? Well, in this case, I went to New York City, and this gets back to the black and white thing. This looks like this could have been shot in the 20s. So my family, twice a year for the last, 30 years, we go to Bald Head Island and Bald Head, North Carolina, off the coast of Wilmington. And there is a lighthouse there, Old Baldy, that has been around forever. And so when I'm there, I'm constantly documenting with my phone, just sort of what is there, what's around, trying to do things differently. And again, a little bit of pressure because I post every day. Converting to black and white. Coming in close. Do we like it in color? Or is it more dramatic in black and white? Normally you don't think of beach photos as something that you would convert to black and white. Very basic. There is nothing highfalutin or fancy about this photo. It's just a photo of the beach. On that trip, what did you drink? What did you eat? What was the landscape like? What's the architecture like? Are there any landmarks? Bringing in something that tells you where you are if you can. If you see a sign, if you see something. So see that fountain down there? All the way across. Believe it or not, it's in that photo too. It's hidden. And then we came in for a close-up. Again, a little bit of walking, a little bit of moving around, a little bit of looking at things differently. The mundane. Landmarks. There is no question where that photo was shot. This is down in Tennessee at the county seat where the courthouse where Jack Daniels is. Jack Daniels for many years did all their ads in black and white. So I thought this worked a whole lot better than that. Have fun, practice. Go to a parade. On St. Patrick's Day, look at something differently. Thunder over Louisville. My buddy Jared Matthews at the Food and Drink does a thing a couple times a year. It's basically a crawfish boil that he does at one of his restaurants. There he is. There it is. There it is, even closer. The entertainment. One of the guests. This photo would not work in black and white, not in any way, shape, or form. The chefs. One thing that I do as a personal project for me and have for many, many years is I love farmers markets. There is farmer's market very near my house, St. Matthew's Farmers Market. It's open at the Beargrass Creek Christian Church on Saturdays, a pretty limited amount of time. It opens up this Saturday right after the Derby and closes in September. In addition to that, there's a Bardstown Road Farmers Market that's literally open every Saturday of the entire year. So there are places to go. So here's a little collection of photos, again using those tips. You have no idea what country, where that was shot. You wouldn't think it was shot in St. Matthews, Kentucky. Again, compositions, color, the directness of the eyes, close-ups. I mean, pretty much, regardless of what kind of phone you have, you can do a lot of different things with it. This is at that church. This looks like it could have been shot in Canada. I mean, again, looking for different things, looking for different subject matter. The food, the vegetables, bringing in signs. We're not bringing them, but photographing them. Faces. Again, which way do we go? Really no right or wrong answer on that one. But just having fun. And as I say, I go to this market unless I'm out of town or unless I have a work commitment or another commitment. I'm there every Saturday. And I post usually 15 to 20 pictures on social media every Saturday, and the market religiously reposts them. With a photo credit, of course. Again, looking for a sign, something that, I mean, I thought this was a lot of fun. Using the panoramic feature of the phone. This is from a photo show that I had of my derby work over in Distillery Commons. Skyline. If you're flying in and out of Louisville, take a pic. This was for a Price River shoot that we did out in the Salt Lake area. From New York. Times Square, very colorful, but you can also do it in black and white. This is in my backyard, Cave Hill Cemetery, and again, with that effect, that picture looks like it could have been shot in the 20s. This is one morning when I got to work. I went up to the second floor of our building, Price Weber, and shot this out the window. At an event. This was, and yes, I did shoot it with the real camera, a photo shoot we did for Cummins Generators at Price Weber, and we made that rain happen with a whole bunch of hoses. So our daughters a couple of years ago got me this Christmas gift, and I'm a big wine guy, and it is called, it's from Wine Box, and it's basically test tubes of different wine. And I wanted to send them, I was really touched by it, and I wanted to send them a thank you for it. So rather than just write a note, I took a white sheet of Mount board that we had laying around the house, went to a window light, and that's what I came up with, and one of them ended up breaking it. This is at the University of Dayton, a tribute to Dr. King. And then I thought, wow, let's come in closer, which that's a cool shot, but it certainly does not tell the story. And that's what we're trying to do, that one does. Old gears. Some wheat in the snow, plant in the snow. This, I did do a Father's Day illustration for our social media at Price Weber. This was shortly after I got there and found that old ball and old glove with thousands of other things in our prop room. And I had to throw it in, Fred. Again, a timeless photo in my backyard. Using the color red at a restaurant called Red's. Black and white. So, I said that we go to Bald Head Island. I flew out of Myrtle Beach. I've only done it once. We usually drive because we take a lot of food and everything. And I had some time to kill, and I read about a restaurant down there that did a cool Sunday brunch, and they had a Bloody Mary bar. And I was taking this picture just to have for my own social media, and the manager came over, and I thought, oh man, I am going to get scolded for something. And she goes, so you look like you really know what you're doing. By the way, every week we have a Bloody Mary photo contest. You should enter. As you heard earlier, I've won over 500 awards, and this is one of my favorites. But it's really not about the awards. So this was after Derby. I guess 3 or 4 years ago, and it literally rained all weekend. David Danielson, who is the former executive chef of Churchill Downs, he now owns the restaurant at Brownsboro Center. David would bring in, from the Levy restaurants all over the country, 5,000 people and hire 5,000 people. You're serving and you're cooking for over 150,000 people. So that's kind of what they had to put up with for a week. I posted that photo, and on Derby night, literally 15 minutes after I posted it, I get a call from Chef Dave. And he says, that photo that you took was amazing because it told the story of the awful conditions that my crew has put up with for the last week. Would you mind if I send that out to all 5,000 of the people who work with me? Because it does what? Tells the story. And that, to me, means more than any award that I'm ever going to win. If that someone is moved that much by one of my photos to share it with that many people as a thank you. Shameless self-promotion. Dan Dry Photo is where you're going to find my today's found art. I certainly thank all of you, and it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we appreciate sharing your photos, your incredible stories. I'm not going to get off too easy. I'm sure people have questions because they want to do what you do.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Dan. Really appreciate it. Love what you're doing.
Thank you, my friend.
3 quickies. One, how much of your work is done in post-production? 2, of the thousands of pictures you probably snap, how many of them do you actually use? And 3, are you venturing into the use of AI today, and how's that affecting your work?
So, question number 1, as far as editing and post-production, for the iPhone photos, I use the app that is on the iPhone photo app. That's what I use. Second question, when shooting with the iPhone, I mean, not a lot, probably 2 or 3 of each situation, and then I will delete what I don't like. And I'm speaking, like, thinking in generalization with the farmer's market. Now, if I'm shooting for Mr. Davis and Bryce Weber's clients, yes, we shoot a lot from a ton of different angles, different exposures. As far as AI goes, I certainly have tried it. I'm certainly still experimenting with it, want to stay current with it. In addition, I use ChatGPT like everybody else, because, I mean, AI is definitely something that's not going anywhere, but as far as my work for clients, I do not, but we definitely, I've tried it and continue to experiment with it, and we definitely are really tackling it full board at work at Price Weber. Thank you.
Okay, then, thank you very much for the presentation, Marcus Blom. I really enjoy your approach to like storytelling and documenting your life. And I have a question about also post-processing. When do you think image manipulation is acceptable? For example, the picture you posted of the horse with like the post that you thought were distracting in the background, it would be very easy to remove in post. Is that like acceptable in your eyes because it's like for the storytelling, or is that manipulating how it was?
So that's a great question. So, as a journalist, I work for the Courier Journal. We heard that. And when it's journalism, there is no retouching. I mean, that is a no-no. And, but if it's something that I'm posting on my phone, no one cares. I mean, and there is on your editing app, if you're an iPhone person, and if you have like I know I have a 16 Pro, I guess, but there is a little thing that you can hit, and you can erase that hole or erase whatever. I certainly, and we certainly do plenty of retouching for clients. Like Ben, I do a lot of corporate headshots. I was photographing a doctor yesterday, and we're looking at the photos. He goes, "These are great. Can you make my teeth whiter?" So there you go. Hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Hello, Dan. I'm Corey Miller with the Cabbage Patch Settlement House, and I just want to, on behalf of the Cabbage Patch, just thank you for your work is all around the Cabbage Patch and has been for over 20 years, I know that. And so I just want to thank you for your great work that you've done. Also, Fred and Price Weber have been good friends too. Here's my question. I'm fairly new to Louisville 2018, but wanted to find out where you got the spark in photography. What inspired you to get into it?
So, when I was 15, I had a freshman in high school in Athens, Ohio. I had a humanities teacher who said she really liked the way that I wrote. And would I like to try out an audition for the high school newspaper, The Matrix? So I went down and checked it out, and all of my friends, older brothers and older sisters, were on the staff, and none of those people would ever talk to a freshman unless they were in the same environment. I thought, wow, this is really cool. But like any 15-year-old male, I didn't want to write any more than I already had to. And she told me that she had a opening for a photographer. I borrowed my mother's camera, and I went around the school and took a bunch of pictures, got on the staff, and I mean, really got into it. And my parents were so supportive. I mean, my father had a dark room built for me that was just unbelievable, and the cameras, and we would go on trips during the summer for me to be able to get fun, great photographs. And I was a high school photographer of the year twice, and recruited by a lot of colleges, ended up going to school in my hometown at Ohio University in Athens, #1 photojournalism school in the country, and won the William Randolph Hearst College Photographer of the Year, which is like winning the Heisman. And out of that, I like to tell this story. I had 17 firm job offers for jobs or internships, including, let me ask you this, folks. What straight 19-year-old male turns down an internship with Playboy magazine? To come to Louisville and work for the Bingham, not full time, as a preparatory replacement for one of their photographers, and then after a couple of months, they ended up hiring me, and I was there for 5.5 amazing years. So a little more than you wanted to know. But
Oh, that was great. I could listen to you all day. So I have 2 questions. When you are going in for those close-ups, are you actually zooming or are you physically getting the phone closer?
a little bit of both.
Okay.
It depends. I do use the Zoom a lot. I try not to use it out because it's got like 1.5, 2, 5, and then you can zoom in even closer. But once you start doing that, it gets a little tricky. So, and I will walk up.
And then how did you train your family to stay out of the picture and behind while you're doing it?
My wife hates having her picture taken. My kids reluctantly will do it at course, so it was not an issue. Hello, sir.
Hello, Dan. Thanks for being with us. The question is about intellectual property. When a client, a corporation, or something hires you, who owns the product that you create?
At Price Weber, what we do is if you hire us, the client owns the product. With the deal that I have at Churchill Downs, it's a co-ownership.
One more question, since Norman's behind me. Your enormous archives, have you got a plan?
Oh, the plan's already happened. My family donated my entire archives last fall to my alma mater, Ohio University. So.
Your all-time favorite photo taking and the story behind it?
Hold on. I just happen to have. All-time favorite photo. I usually say my all-time favorite photo is the one that I'm going to take tomorrow. But,
Wow.
so you've probably seen it at the airport, or you've seen it around. I shot it when I was 19 at the Courier. If you want to see the whole story, you can just Google Dan Dry Champ Can I Come In on salon.com. The brief story is he was fighting an exhibition match at Trinity High School with a relatively unknown boxer by the name of Greg Page, who went on to be big time heavyweight champ. And so somebody in the front row who can see it, how old is Ali in that shot? Pretty darn good looking 38. So it was at the end of his career before he got sick. I was in the locker room, and he was in there with a ton of people with his family, and Greg's dad came in and said, "Champ, don't hurt my little boy," and the whole thing was very fun. I saw him get up, and he went into the restroom, and he had 2 rolls of tape, and I knocked on the door and said, "Champ, can I come in?" Again, I'm 19, I was so nervous. Yes, I did get part of myself in the daggone photo. And 4 frames, that was it. Went back to the newspaper and made a print, took it down to the sports desk, and the sports editor said, "Holy, what the, did you get this?" And I immediately called my dad in tears and said, "I'm going to get fired." And she replaced it. And son, I don't think I described the photo, I don't think you're going to get fired. And the next day it ran 6 columns on the sports run. And then after he died, Price Weber has been, and Fred and company have been extremely generous, and we have that printed, and a lot of my other printed in 30 by 40 canvases. And as was said in the introduction, it's raised tens and tens and tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands. So that would probably have to be my most
we're not going to soon forget this, but this will remind you of your visit. This is the commemorative.
That's great.
Everything with the 4-way test. And reflects our values.
So and thanks to all of you.
Next week, and Barbara's going to tell us why. Barbara,
Okay.
put those on.
All right, so President Ken and honored guests, distinguished Rotarians, what are you trying to do? Okay. I challenge anybody to stand up here with Ken off your right hand shoulder. Okay, Ken, these are props. So, yeah, Ken sent me a message at 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, you gotta get some sleep, buddy. I mean, if this is how this president-elect thing's gonna go, I don't know. But anyway, he said, so at the end of the meeting, I know we haven't really talked about this, I'm gonna call you back up. I said, no, why? And he said, because I want you to introduce the next week's speaker. I said, Ken, I haven't even looked at my notes. I don't even know what it is. And we didn't have said the script yet. His thing was at 1. I think it came at 1:23. Thank you, Elaine. We appreciated that very much. So, from one lens to the other, my job right now in 30 seconds is to introduce next week's speaker. And Ken said, if you don't increase attendance at next week's meeting, maybe you're fired. I don't believe you can do that without the board's approval. So come on, y'all. Everybody bring a friend next week. But here we go. Next week's speaker is going to be Dan Ratherman. And David is going to talk to us about the growth story and the power of clarity through sunglasses. So Henry Heiser, stand up, buddy. I asked Henry Heiser coming in. I said, there you go. Everybody round of applause for Henry. And then when I made it up here, I thought, oh no, those aren't shady rays. I'm in some serious trouble. So Lorraine, I said, Lynn, do you have any sunglasses like shady rays? She goes, yeah. Y'all, those are way bad. And I said, I can't do that. Rick King, stand up. Rick King, round of applause. Where did he go? There you are. Okay. Compliments of Rick King, fellow Rotarian. We have shady gray sunglasses. So fellow Rotarians, please come next week. Wear your shades, make them shady rays, if at all possible. And I look forward to seeing you all. President Kent, it's all yours.
Love the guy made great. I mean, he's got a great story. I love it. I used to wear these, but not anymore. You guys look even better. All right. What is Rotary table? We have a whole bunch of folks. Don Bush wants to come and talk to you about Rotary if you want. And you don't have to be a prospective Rotarian. If you are a current Rotarian, just hang out with John. See you next week. We're going to have a